Hi guys, I thought I'll make an introduction video for you guys to start modeling this engine. If you haven't started already, this might help. I have found a PDF file of the Haynes manual engine on the web. So if you just Google for Haynes model engine PDF, I'm sure you will locate this file. It has got everything which you received in that box, which we handed out last week. The aim of your project is to design all these parts minus the electrical bits, and model that in Solidworks, put it all together in assembly, make a movie out of it. And today specifically I wanted to let's see if I can zoom into this, discuss how we can use Solidworks to make it all sort of very easy, and sort of, it will be really nice to relate all of these parts which are in line. And I think it's safe to assume that the width of this gasket is exactly the same as the width of this face here, and so is this one. So in order for you to save a lot of time measuring the details over and over again, I want to show you there is a quick way of doing this in Solidworks. So if you measure one of these parts, for instance, you can measure the gasket, and you can use that as a base layer to produce these two parts, because they are all related. And if you make change to one of these, they're all going to change. Or if you make change to the gasket, it should all have a linear effect on the other two parts. So let's have a quick look at how we can do this. It's the most commonly asked question, that how do I make sure that the countersunk holes on the casing here, on the engine block, how do I make sure that they align through all these parts? So in order to answer all of these questions, I think it's a good idea to use the approach I'm about to show you. So if I can show you something very generic, so for instance, if I were to make a new part, don't relate to that engine yet, I'm just gonna make I'm going to make that gasket with my imaginary numbers. I haven't measured the gasket yet myself, so I don't know the numbers. So I'm going to go ahead create something similar to this. If I was doing this properly, I would use all the dimensions from the real object. So that's a sketch, a rectangle with rounded corners. I want to extrude that, and that looks, I think the real thing is about 3 millimeters, or maybe slightly thinner than that. So that gives us a blank for the gasket. I wonder if I can go and sketch on this level here, and now I'm producing those 4 circular cutouts. So if I were to draw maybe a couple of circles, what I want to make sure is, holding down Control, I want to select both these circles, and I want to make them equal in size. That hasn't, yep, that has fixed it. I need to measure the distance, how far that is from the edge. I need to measure this distance here. So if you guys are doing this properly, you can stick a caliper here and measure that distance, etc, etc. What I'm trying to do is, if I have 2 of these circles, let's say if I can get a dimension on this circle here, so I'm going to go ahead with 55. It looks too big. Lower it down to about 50. That looks right. Let's just go ahead with it. I'm going to confirm that. Use a construction line to create an imaginary mirror, and going into mirror entities, select both these circles, and where it says mirror about, I'm going to use my construction line to mirror about those 2 circles, which gives me this. Exit the sketch, extrude cut, and stamp the circles out of the blank. So we have an arrangement like this. If I was to do it properly, I would make sure that these are correctly dimensioned. So next up is getting the holes all around, and as I said, I'm only freestyling this. I'm gonna go, I don't think I want to do that. I want to use hole wizard. As we already discussed, it's important you use hole wizard instead of a manual cutout, because it helps you in assembly, where you can import fasteners from toolbox. So if I can go with a straight hole type, very standard drill size of, let's just say 4 mil, because that's the one I used earlier when I was trying this. So about 4 millimeter. And if I go into positions, I want to select this plane here, and tell you what, I'm gonna click a few times. So got 3 holes there. However many you need to be to make it the correct dimension. I think I may want to move that slightly in between these 2 circles here. As I said, I'm only freestyling this, so I don't think it really matters where they are. Right, so that's about concentric with that fillet, which is nice. Always nice to look at concentric things. I can move that inwards a little. Right, once again I can use construction line as mirror. So if I can select all of these small little circles I created earlier, or small little points, I can use the construction line as the mirror, and we should have it. It has got a nice nicely arranged symmetrical relationship, so on and so forth. Obviously that distance doesn't look really large, so I'll let you guys deal with that. And there we have it. We have the openings for the piston, and we have the countersunk holes. Right, so our argument is, how do we use this particular part? Because I've done all the hard work here. I've measured it all up, and I want to use this as a base layer for my for the other part which I'm about to design. So let's just say I'm going to model this part now, which is, which fits in nicely in line with the gasket. So if I can save this file, save as, I'm going to save that on desktop, call it engine gasket, save that. Right, I'm going to minimize that because I need to bring it up in a minute. Right, new part file, and this is the new part you're making. Ooh, what happened here? Right, so what I can do now is, well, I'm going to highlight all of these planes, make them visible. I quite like to see them. I'm going to go in insert part. So this is the new part file, guys, and I'm going to locate the part I have designed earlier. I'm going to use that as a base layer. So, and then if I were to hit enter, that didn't work out nice. So let's do it properly, because obviously that I wanted that to be at the origin, and I don't think that is at origin now. So I wonder if I can control Z out of it. Let's start again. New part file, insert part, locate the file which is here, and I don't want to worry about the threads. I just want a solid body, and if I were to green tick that, that's going to home itself on origin. Yep. So what I did earlier was I hit enter on the keyboard, and it dropped it wherever my cursor was at that point in time. So I think it's a good idea for you guys to green tick here when it gives you a chance to confirm that, and then that's how it will place it onto the origin. The beauty of that is, you obviously you can see the symmetric structure, and you can start building on the same framework here. So the plan is to start, let's just say, sketching on top of this plane. We can pretend that this is there on the base layer, and in a minute it's all going to be very, very clear. So if I go into sketch, and I'm sketching for, let's just say, a big block of material which sits on top of this, and which happens to have same cutouts, etc, etc. So I'm going to obviously approximate that. I'm not going to design the ribs and all that. I'll just make a massive brick. In sketching environment, I'm sure we talked about convert entities before, but if we didn't, here it is. Convert entities is a really smart feature. What it will allow you to do is, once you're in sketch, you can choose the details which are on the sketching plane or behind the sketching plane, and what it will do is it will throw those details onto our sketching plane and it will convert that into a sketch for you. So what that means, you don't need to dimension, you don't need to worry about sketching that rectangle which I sketched earlier with those rounded corners, etc, etc. So that saves you a lot of time. So what do you say, I use convert entities, select all of them, and then if I green tick, it gave me a sketch. And I think it's slightly difficult to see. The sketch is there, I can see that on dark line. If I can exit the sketch, I wonder if I can hide this object, and I'm sure you guys can see the sketch there. So this is the trick, using convert entities. Let's bring that back. Using convert entities within sketching environment to create sketches from the existing geometry, basically. So if I wanted, I can extrude this particular sketch by whatever distance I wanted to go. So let's just say I wanted to go about that much, right? And as you can see, that's our base layer. What I wanted to do once more is, I don't want to merge the results together. At the moment, Solidworks has merged these two bodies together, it made one part file. We don't want to do that, so this is the second important step in your process. Make sure you don't merge them together. And if I don't merge them together, very clearly I can see two bits of solid bodies here. I can see the gasket we came in with, and this is the engine block we're working on now. If I want at any point in time, I can hide the gasket and I can carry on working on the engine block. I know that the edges match the extreme edges of the gasket. If you wanted, you may want to have some sort of tolerance, so maybe the gasket don't go up to the edge. There is some offset of 0.5 mil or 1 mil, so that can be taken into account in convert entity. So all you have to do is convert entities the sketch, and then offset the sketch inwards or outwards, whichever way you want to go. So if I can bring that back again, and tell you what, I'm going to hide the boss extrude, and I'm going to take a look on this side once again. I'm gonna go get the details of this circle. I don't want to draw them again. I'm going to use the same approach, which is converting the entities. So once you are in sketch, go into convert entities, and let's just say for fun, I wanted the details from these edges here, and I wanted Solidworks to project them onto our working plane, which is top plane now. Oops, I don't think it took place. Right, let's control Z out of it. Right, we are in sketch, convert entity. Right, now we are in. So I can select all of these, confirm that, exit the sketch, and we can use these newly created. If you're wondering where the sketch is here. Maybe if I can hide the engine gasket, you can see the circles being converted into sketch. So that's there, trust me. What I'm going to do with these sketches, I'm going to cut out. I'm going to use them sketches to cut out the engine block we created earlier. So if I go extruded cut, and I wonder if I can select all of these 4 circles. Yep. But the problem with this approach, it's going the other way. I don't want to go that way. I want to go right. What it's not allowing us to do is, since this is hidden, let's bring that back. Let's pre-select this sketch, and then I wonder if I can go extruded cut, and then it's going that way. I can flip the direction. I can specify how deep we wanted the cut, so maybe somewhere into the engine block, or maybe I didn't want to come out all the way. And I can, well, that's the right approach. In case it gives you a chance to select which bodies to cut, when that field is active, you can choose I want to cut that body only and not the engine gasket. And if you confirm that, what I have here now, we have a gasket. So we have two bodies here. We have the gasket, which is sitting on top of the engine block. If I hide the gasket, this is the engine block now with them cutouts there. We can take it a step further. So I hide that. I want to bring this one back on this side here. I want to go into sketching environment once again, using convert entities. Yep, I should be doing that. I think when the plane is active, it sort of convert entity takes that is what we want to convert into. But I don't think I should be careful where I click. So if I go convert entities now, and that gives me a chance to select the entities to convert. So if I can select the images there, I think it's the same thing. You can select the face or the edge. It will convert this. It will, in the end, it will give you a circle. Right, so let's get all of these. Right, let's hope it's all fine. If I green tick that, we got them circles there, all of them are there, right? So I didn't misclick on anything. Exit the sketch, and if you wanted, that kind of gives you the location of wherever you want to use the whole wizard. If you wanted, you could have avoided this step, and you can straight away go into whole wizard and you can locate the center of those circles, and that's where you want to create the holes. So I'm gonna try and do that now. So if I can bring, well, I'm going to leave the circles on there, but I'm going to hide, and I'm going to bring back our engine block. I'm going to go in whole wizard, and let's just say this time you wanted countersunk holes, BSI of M4, and for positions, I think it's easy now. It's only a matter of click, click, click. So I'm gonna go click. You need to look out for the endpoint indicator here, so you need to make sure that your cursor comes up with a little confirmation saying you are at that crosshair, you are at the center of those that circle there, and that's going to guarantee that you are the correct location. That's when you click and it gives you a beautiful circle at the right location. I wonder if I can do this. Right, if I confirm this now, it's actually the way around. So this is, but I'm sure you guys are going to take it the right way. So I'm just freestyling this as I said. We have some countersunk holes. Maybe I wanted the countersunk holes to be on this side and not on that side. So anyway, I'm sure you can forgive me on that. So if you can take it in the right spirit, this is the way you want to go ahead and model this. In the end, you can right click and you can save this as a new part. So where's that option gone? Maybe insert into new part, and that will create a new part for you. Or maybe you can save this as derived engine block. Let's save that. Right, now the fun part. Why do we go down this road? Why do we use convert entities, and why can't we just do it the manual way, not worrying about all these advanced features and all that? So if I can, I want to dock my window there, so that stays there. Excuse me. Right, so this is the reasoning behind it. I want to make some changes to my gasket, and I don't want to remodel my engine block because I made a big mistake measuring the gasket. I had a few drinks and I don't think that's right. So how do I make sure that I can use the package to the fullest, minimize the work, and still get away with good marks? So for instance, let's just say I wanted to tweak the position of these holes here, and I wanted my engine block to have a linear effect. So I'm gonna go, I could have chosen something else, something easier to tweak. So I think it's this particular sketch here, which contains the position data of the holes. And if I were to tweak that out, so I'm gonna leave it here. Right, confirm that, commit to that, and the holes have moved, as you can see. Well, this one's moved. If I click on this file here, I'm sure you can see the difference there. So that has jumped. So as I said, the reason this is happening, because the first feature we imported was the engine gasket, as you can see in the feature manager, and everything was built around it. Everything all of these are the derived features. So the minute you change engine gasket in the original file, this derived engine block is going to change, and I'm pretty sure this will help you a long way. Saves you a lot of time measuring the details, because that's where all the human error is going to come into picture. So see if you can use this approach. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can ask me a question on this YouTube link. Have fun, guys.